Sage Intacct has come out with a new feature which allows dashboards to be drillable without opening up the general ledger. So previously, when you drilled into an amount on a financial report and it pulled up the general ledger transactional detail, the customize button would appear and you would be able to change this view and change this account and get to other general ledger accounts. Now that option is removed and you can only see the account that you're drilling into. So you still have the capability of drilling to an AP bill, for example, and going down to that transactional level, actual transaction, to see the actual bill and the image if the attachments were loaded. Okay. So still same functionality, can drill all the way down, but now you cannot change this view to a different account. So in order to set up security to have this where my project manager setup and role is going to be secure, I am going to show you a couple things in security on the project manager role. So I'm going to go through the menu as well and show you what this role can and cannot do with all of the other menus and areas as well. So if we go into the company roles area and we go down to the project manager, I'm going to look at subscriptions here and look at their permissions for each area. So in the company area, I have the attachments, attachment folders, and the dashboard view turned on. So in order to drill down to that transaction, that bill that I was showing, if you want to see the image, you need to have the view attachment and attachment folders turned on. Okay. And obviously view dashboard so they can see the dashboard at all. Okay. So that's company permissions. General ledger, you're not going to have much on in here, but we're going to have a view journal entries turned on, and then enable drill down to all transactions from reports. You're going to have view for financials and view for graphs. So each financial and each graph has security on it, but this is just saying in general, you can view financials area, and in general, you can view the graphs area. Okay, but we'll secure those down individually. Platform services, you're going to have turned on your list and your view for custom reports and ICRW reports. You're going to have the view for printed document templates turned on. Enable interactive account groups, and assign primary consumer role for this checkbox here. Then we're going to go to projects. Now, this is flexible. So if you want your project managers to be able to do everything in the projects menu, you can select everything like I have shown here, or you can deselect and have it pared down a little bit more. Also with purchasing, same thing. You can have it more robust, or you can have it pared down like I have here to where they can only do certain things in purchasing. So that's up to you on those two areas. There's nothing confidential or shouldn't be in projects and purchasing to where you can't give them full permissions if you want. So let's go back over here to the project manager role, and we're going to look at Doug's specific view. So his dashboard here has a financial report called Work in Progress loaded. There's another one as an example, project overview. And then there's some report shortcuts down here that he could also run. Okay. So when I go to the menu, I also have some areas that are turned on and have some information as well that I want to go through. So if we go to the dashboards area, you can just assign his one dashboard to him. There's a couple others that are assigned in this specific demo, but you want to, if you want to just give him one, you just give him access to the one dashboard. So in order to do that, you are going to go to the dashboards and you're going to edit. I'll just edit one of these and go to permissions. And here's where you can assign who gets access to the dashboard or who doesn't. So if I deny everyone, no one can see this but the owner of the dashboard. And then if I just want to add one person, deny everybody, but I just want Damien to be able to see it, but everyone else not, then you can set it up like that. Okay. So your project manager dashboards, you can assign your project manager to, or project managers to that project manager dashboard. And they can then filter for just their projects up here in the project manager groups that you would have set up. Okay. If you want them to only be able to see their projects from the dashboard, then you would not have this filter available and you would need to make specific reports for just them only. Okay, so that's a little bit more of a robust setup. You'd have to reach out to us to talk through that a little more. But the premise of it would be you don't have the filters up here, and you would have, let's say you had 5 project managers, you'd have 5 different project overviews with a hard filter on there for each project manager. Okay. So now I've got my dashboard, I've got some links, I've got some reports, I can drill down. I want to go look at general ledger. Did this secure my general ledger down? Okay. So you're going to see some things in the different menus. However, when I click on general ledger, I can't run it. I can't do anything with it. I can see the accounts still, but I cannot run this. I cannot do anything. There's no buttons up here to do anything on this general ledger. Also with your views, you're going to see some views over here. Someone else created this view, but it's not authorized. You can't get to them. So you might see some menu items in your specific areas, but you cannot run the general ledger and you cannot get to these views. Okay. So another area I want to go to that might be a concern for security is, let's look at reports and Report Center. So in my reports area, I've got custom reports and ICRW reports. So I have to have the list on in order for the project manager to run the specific linked reports down here. Okay, so I have to have the list on in platform services and security for custom reports and ICRW reports, or I will not be able to run these. Okay. So if I go to the actual area, my custom and ICRW reports, we're going to look at these areas here and talk through these. So for custom reports, there really isn't security you can put in place like financial reports and ICRW reports. So you can add them to the menu on the last step, or you can have them not show up on a menu on this last step. That doesn't necessarily secure it though, where you're going to have it not show up at all in someone's view or someone's list. So for custom reports, what we recommend is that you don't create anything confidential in custom reports. Custom reports also are more of a list. They're not really any of the payroll reports that Sage puts out. Those are interactive custom reports. A lot of these reports are not confidential anyway, but you will want to look through that list and make sure you don't have any confidential custom reports you've created. Okay. Because they do need to be able to have, they are going to have the list on in their permissions and platform services to be able to see custom reports list. Okay. For them to run some of those reports. So go into the custom reports area, look at your list here and just scan through and see if there's anything that is confidential. And then we could convert that to an ICRW report or potentially a financial report. Okay. ICRW, those are a little easier and there's more security we can put in place with these. So if I go to my ICRW list of reports here, I can actually, and I'm going to show this in the administrator role, I can actually secure those down one by one. So if I go to my reports, ICRW, and go over here to the advanced settings, me as an administrator, I can secure this down right here, just like I showed for financial reports. Okay. So if you do have confidential reports in here, you can secure those down so that the project manager, so you see I have more in here, The project manager doesn't have as many. Okay. So just custom reports is the one that's a little harder to secure down. So in my reports, I've got my setup. I also can secure this down if I don't want my project manager setting up new cost types or cost codes, or I don't want them setting up dimension groups. So again, I turned on everything in the projects area in security. So you are going to see these in the setup in the reports area. Okay. You can turn them off, however. So with reports and general ledger, those are the two that had some security issues that we needed to talk through and secure down. And that's going to get you, as far as the confidential aspect, get you through that security where the project manager will not be able to go in and run reports because you've got to have certain items on in permissions or run the general ledger. Looks like you can, but you really cannot. Okay. So if I go to projects here, again, you remember you can pare this down in the settings in the role on the permissions and take off some of these if you don't want them to be able to, add a project contract. Maybe accounting does that. So they can maybe view it, but not add it. It would take that plus sign away. Okay. So just some tidbits there. Again, I'm just showing this as an example. And then purchasing as well, same thing. You can turn on more or take off more in this area as well. Okay. So just wanted to give a quick update on the new feature that does allow that drillability for the project manager to be able to drill down into amounts from the dashboard, but now secures general ledger so you cannot run that GL or other confidential reports. So if you need assistance on this or have more questions, you can click on the Get Help button when you're in Ask Richard, and it's going to take you to the help desk option. So to get to the specific instructions, you're going to type in Drillable Project Manager Dashboard Setup here in the Ask Richard. Also use this for other things. I was showing this the other day, and you can create a dashboard as well. And that will give you some step-by-step instructions with the videos and the actual mark in the video that talks about the exact step. So you don't have to filter through the whole video. Okay. So don't forget to use Ask Richard to start any questions you have, but then there is that Get Help button as well if you need further assistance.